If frontals aren't your thing, well, then you definitely want to check out this video on this 5x5 HD lace closure from Rosehair. So if you're interested, keep watching. Okay, so like I said, this is a unit from Rosehair, and they hooked me up with some goodies on the inside. I love when the wigs come with wig kits because it comes so in handy for me. I always forget supplies and things, and they hook me right up. Got a scrunchie, I got lashes that I can't wear because I can't put on lashes, and I also have like the tweezers, and you know, the whole nine, wig caps, all of it. I'm going to start by, slicking back my edges using some edge control. One thing I'm definitely going to take note for the next video is to use a little less edge control because I feel like it can be mixed in with my got to be product when I'm ready for that part. But yeah, I'm just slicking back my edges, getting them out the way, and then I'm gonna start on doing this bald cap. Now I kind of did the most with this bald cap because I totally forgot I was working with a closure and not a frontal, so I secured down the whole bald cap. And really, you only need to secure down enough to cover the middle or wherever you're gonna place your closure at. You don't have to do an entire bald cap for a closure wig. Like, it's totally unnecessary. And it really didn't even dawn on me until I was done. I was like, wait a second, I didn't need to do all that. But yes, so I'm doing the bald cap. So if you haven't seen how to do a bald cap or you have questions, I'm following my hairline. I like to go a little bit farther back with my bald cap, so that way if they start to unravel, it's secure enough to where, it won't unravel too far on me. Another tip I picked up from watching, I can't remember her name, but it was another YouTuber. I didn't realize I was doing this, but I was already doing this. But when you're pressing the comb into the lace, it's also lifting up any excess product and kind of removing it, because you don't want too much product anywhere, honestly, in your wig installs, to be honest. So that's a good note too. After it's pretty much dry, I like to use the elastic band to kind of press it into my skin more. And then I will, after it's fully dry, of course, that's when I cut off the excess cap. If you have a small forehead, you want to get as close to your hairline as possible because you need all the space. If you have a larger forehead, you got more room to work with, But yeah, small foreheads, cut it as close to your hairline as you can get it. I'm taking a little bit of my Got To Be Glued from the yellow tube, because y'all know I love the Got To Be Glued in the yellow tube. And I'm using that to push the rolled up edges of my bald cap back down into my skin so we can have as seamless of a bald cap as possible. It's important that if you do this, that you make sure it's dry before you start adding product like makeup or anything on top of your bald cap, because you don't want to mix kind of wet-ish, glue-ish products with like makeup or anything, because it's just going to create a hot mess. So here is the wig up close and personal. You can see it has HD lace. It is a 5x5 lace closure wig. It does have combs in the inside throughout the perimeter, and it also has adjustable straps in there as well. And it's a very nice size fitting cap. You'll see as time goes on. I did wash the hair, bleach the knots, and pluck the unit. I'll insert footage of what it looked like before I did anything somewhere in here. And then now I'm just sizing it up and making sure it's sitting where I want it to sit on my forehead. Because with a little forehead, you got to be strategic about where you place that wig. So I'm using my Got To Be Glued. I did actually like 3 layers total of Got To Be Glued for this because I planned on wearing it for a few days. Like, I still have it on as we speak, and it has not lifted up on me once. Now, I will say part of that is because at night I put the elastic band loosely back down on my head, and that helps to keep the wig melted down. Like in my sleep or when I go to the gym, I do the same thing, and I'll take the elastic band back off until it dries. And that has been keeping my wig secured without having to use like actual glue adhesive like your bold holds or Ghost Bond or anything like that. So I did about 3 layers, and then I just positioned my wig properly, made sure it was where I wanted it to be. And then I started marrying the lace to my skin using the comb, kind of combing it back, doing all that good stuff. I'm blow drying to dry the wig completely before I start cutting off the lace or putting on any types of bands or anything. As y'all know, if you've been watching my most recent videos, I've been preferring to fully dry the wig before I cut anything off. It just makes the process a lot easier because I'm going to have to put an elastic band back down anyway after I cut off the little, excess lace. It's gonna lift a little bit, so I'm gonna have to put it back down anyway. So I'd rather just do that one time than melting it down, cutting the lace, and having to melt it back down. When you're cutting the lace, you want to make sure that you cut off all the excess little pieces of lace that you see there, because if you don't, it will expose you for having on a wig more than if you cut it as close to the hairs as possible. And then also, as you can see, after I finish cutting is when I will put the pieces that came up from when I was cutting back down with a little free spray and pressing it into the skin. Now, as you can see, this is a 5x5 closure. So I told you I didn't need as much ball cap as I did. So all I did was lift up the sides and cut it back so it would go under the wig on the sides. Make sure you wipe up any product residue that's left over on your forehead. You get that all cleaned up before you put your elastic band on, and make sure you section out your baby hairs first. I used to do this, after and figure it out later, but doing it first and setting it with the elastic band to go forward, it makes your job a whole lot easier with the baby hairs. I used a little heat from my hot comb to also help me set the hairs going forward. And also because this is loose, deep wave textured hair, it's going to help me to straighten out those baby hairs so they'll work better for me. I am loving this hair, you guys. It's 150% density and it's still giving volume. It looks so good, and your part can go so far back. Look at that. This wig is so nice. I'm feeling it. I may take this wig on vacation. So now I'm using my pomade, and this is the wax stick from the Don't Touch My Hairline. Anywhere Motown Tress products are sold, you should be able to find that. That's what the company told me, because I know they're kind of hard to find. I wish they weren't. People need to tell your beauty supply to pick that up because they got some bomb products. But yeah, I use the wax stick, and I use that to help me straighten out the top of the wig and set the hair in place and all of that good stuff. And now moving on, of course, I know I usually go for the medium big hair, but I wanted to go for some definition today. So I used my Not Your Mother's 3-in-1 conditioner. I've had it for so long, y'all. I really just use it on my wigs. But I put that on the hair, and it took really well. The curls just defined and looked it gave that wet look without actually being super wet. I put the spray bottle of water on the hair, but I wasn't saturating the hair at all. I was just kind of getting it a little damp, and it turned out so well. You can see how the hair is just defining and looks so good. I'm feeling this hair, y'all. Make sure when you're defining the hair that you define it in sections, enough sections, so that way the products get evenly distributed throughout the hair. Because a lot of times when you just grab, one big side of your hair, it's not going to get evenly distributed. So this is what it looks like when I'm all finished, defining the curls and everything. And now I'm going to work on the baby hairs. I'm cutting diagonal and kind of making a little bit of up and down motions so they're not so blunt. But mainly, the main thing is make sure you cut diagonal if you want it to go in like a swoop motion. Some people like the like straight bang baby hair style that I see kind of happening now. I think you could kind of blunt cut that, but don't go by me because I ain't done that yet. But for these, I cut diagonal. And then I'm using a spoolie to curve them. And I actually like doing it with the spoolie. I've been sleep on that style. I think I might use the spoolie more often to like curve my baby hairs because it does such a good job. And then also when it comes to styling the baby hairs, I just keep playing with it and messing with it till it fits what I want. So I keep cutting at them, taking away some, putting some back maybe. Just play around with it until you feel like, okay, yeah, that's it right there. After the baby hairs, I'm just doing some finishing touches with the part, trying to get it as straight as possible. I wanted to do that thing where I put the comb in the part and then spray it with the color spray, but I cannot find my color spray. So I was like, oh, well, I'll save it for another video. Hopefully I'll find it at some point. But I really wanted to try that because I've been seeing it online. I was like, oh, okay, so that's how people be getting them parts looking real straight. But I did go ahead and just use, you'll see as the video goes, some concealer in the part and also some like black eyebrow powder to straighten up the part. But you'll see, I'm using the free spray right now to help me set the baby hair so they don't move, because sometimes with the mousse, at least on my face, the hairs can move like towards the end of the day. So the hairspray kind of just helps keep them in place all day. So this is what I'm talking about. I'm just filling it in with the concealer and then touching it up with my black eyebrow powder. I just get those cheap little $3 kits at the dollar store or Target or something. And I use that to fill in my parts and make them, you know, just clean them up a little bit, make them look nice. And then that is the final result. Yes, I'm loving this hair. Shout out to Rosehair for sending this to me. This is the 5x5 HD lace closure in loose deep wave. They have a ton of options, and check the description box because it has all the details below, including some coupons for you guys. So pick that up. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.